Hello everybody, and welcome to what is definitely going to be, I hope, the final episode of Hearts of Iron in this mega campaign. Free India will begin immediately being crushed. However, they've not called in all of these other guys just yet. Of course, this we don't really have a plan to deal with, but that will be dealt with once some of these others are freed up. So we're just fighting Free India for now, and that is great. We bypassed the focus war with Free India. Yeah, they're not ready yet, Cambodia. Get out of here. Okay. So I will point out... Oh, hello, Caribbean. I will point out that, as we can see, that we've immediately begun attacking over here. Fantastic. I would like to point out, though, this is not the end of Ethiopia. After Hearts of Iron, we're going to be building our starting situation from Stellaris in KSP. There will, I think, be some mods involved in that. I haven't yet determined all of the mods that will be involved with the KSP playthrough, but we'll get that figured out soon enough. I'm surprised Free India didn't just call everybody in immediately. Like, they're collapsing. They're absolutely collapsing. Yeah, that's to be expected. Brunei is now in as well. And we are pushing in. They're not putting up much of a fight, and we didn't really expect them to, in all honesty. Hello. These guys. They seem to have forgotten what they were supposed to do. And I think it's all of these, right? Kind of. Who are these guys? Okay, this is real awkward. This is real awkward. Yarkand hasn't been called in yet, nor has Korchin. I'm going to go ahead and tell these guys here that they also need to frontline over here. And we're going to select half of their divisions and tell them to come on in over here with their offensive line being right here. Excellent. Okay, so they will go ahead and execute that eventually. Okay, so as I was saying, this will not be the end of the Ethiopia series. We've got a long ways to go yet. We're going to build our starting situation from Stellaris in KSP, and then we're going to take over... Well, we may or may not take over the galaxy. I haven't decided what our policy on galactic conquest will be just yet. We might go for a federation, or, I mean, Ethiopia's been quite the warmonger. We might become the Nemesis in the new Nemesis expansion that will probably be out by the time we get there. So that will be fascinating. Free India is calling in all of the people at this point, and we fully expect this. We're completely prepared for it. They should, in theory, be collapsing, although they haven't called in everybody yet. They did finally call in Aztec, and we'll get to work on those. Excellent. We are not yet fighting Kalashurus, actually. Additional Aztecs. Okay. That's great. They're just continuing to piecemeal call them in, but as they do, they're just widening the front in ways that they probably shouldn't. Considering we were pretty much prepared for this. How close are they to capitulation? They're a ways away still. That's fine. Pratihar, Australia, finally. Wonderful. And we will immediately push into Pratihara, Australia. Now, the capital of Free India is over here. Turn 8 has been called in. We are immediately attacking the capital of Free India with a complete, dedicated army. So that's good. But we are just... Oh, hello. Korchin was called in. Navajo has capitulated. Japan has also capitulated. So that means that this force here... Well, first off, they need to all attack here. As far as Navajo goes, it looks like we can go ahead and redirect these guys to go somewhere a little bit more spooky. We could potentially have them come down here and plan a naval invasion. That is something we could definitely do. Naval invade from, say, here up to here. And go ahead and execute that. It'll take them time to prepare that, of course. But it'll also take them time to get there. So Japan, of course, is still up here, and we're going to need to relocate this army. Indochina has capitulated as well. Okay, we'll deal with that in a moment. So this army, we're going to go ahead and tell them, I think, to come join this front, perhaps? No, I don't want... Yeah, I actually do want to reassign them to Army Group 5. Yes, do that. Now, that did actually spread them out, and that is not necessarily what we were looking to do. Okay, so we're going to select 10 units from here. There we go. We're going to make a new army out of them. We're going to select 10 units from here. 9 and 10. There we go. And then we're going to select 3 units from here. There we go. We're going to pop them in here, and we're going to tell them they get to join in with this fun. Wonderful. The Manhattan Commune has finally been called in, but Indochina did capitulate. So these guys over here, they are just going to come attack this. And we'll get that dealt with. And as soon as we arrive there, we will sort these guys. They're already in this army group. The Manhattan Commune has capitulated. Okay, we'll deal with that in just a moment. Oregon has been called in. And what is this army group doing? They're not really doing anything, are they? This is the one that's just kind of spread out all over. So I'm going to assign that into this army group here, which this army group is assigned over here, and it'll be a little bit awkward for these guys to get there, that's for sure, but we're going to go ahead and tell them to join in on this front. Okay. Now the Manhattan Commune has capitulated. So these guys are up here, and that is all 24 of them. So we will wait until they grab this last bit of territory. And then we'll move them into probably this army group. Actually, they're already in this army group. What are these guys assigned to? Okay, just various stuff over here. Maybe we should actually reassign these guys over here. Delete these orders. And tell this army that it's now their responsibility to deal with this, since these guys haven't been called in yet. And they can then go ahead and offensive line, boom, like that. Okay. Excellent. Aztec have capitulated. Okay. There's still a lot of Aztec over here. These guys are slowly pushing forward. That's fine. Okay. I'm not too concerned about Aztec right now. We're waiting for second Aztec to capitulate. Newfoundland has finally been called in. That's nice for them, I suppose. Do we have anybody assigned to this? No, we don't. I'm going to actually assign these 3 units to come on over here. Okay. There we go. Newfoundland, I'm not sure they even have troops. As Atja has capitulated. That is... I don't even know who that is. Was that who you were assigned to? Yes, that's who these guys were assigned to. So let's go ahead and move them into this army group, who is, of course, up over here. Yeah, let's assign them in right here. Okay. Free India has finally called in America. Did we manage to get into position over here? Not exactly, but we're close. So that should be fine. That should be, in theory, completely fine. Quiche has now been called in. That is these guys over here. Oregon is going to fall very shortly. And without all of their various outlying areas, Free India is going to struggle here. They've called Majapahit in finally. Okay, that's fine. We don't really have too much threatening Majapahit right now. Kalachurus is still not in this, which is a little surprising. Excellent. Oregon has capitulated. That's great. And we're still mopping up some remaining resistance over here. Finally, Kalachurus has been called in. So that opens up this front, as well as this front. That's great. That is absolutely great. Chiapas has been called in at long last. Huh. This happened. Okay. We must not have completed this, or something. Maybe they naval invaded? Or maybe Kalaturis just happened to have troops there? I'm not entirely sure what happened here. Regardless, these guys do not have orders right now, apparently. I'm wondering if they can get off of this island. I believe they can. Yeah, they can. They can actually make their way over here. So we'll have them clean this up. And we'll assign like one division to this, honestly. We don't need all of these assigned to it. We'll have the rest of these frontlining here. And that's just 3 divisions. Yeah, that's fine. And we'll just have all of these guys. We'll just select all. And we'll have all of these guys offensive line right on over here, ideally. No, they can't quite get there. Offensive line right on over here. There we go. Okay. So we'll get that under control. We do need to respond to this. The question is, with what? Perhaps this army should come back over here. And then we can set up a front line like over here. And have all of their divisions assigned to that order. And then we could move down, say, this army. Down over here. Yeah, I think we just didn't complete this. Like morons. And we will have them, offensive line, down to here. That'll do. Okay. So we'll free that up in a moment. Aztec has capitulated, freeing, as well as Quiche, freeing up more of our armies. That's great. So these guys are done. And we're going to assign those probably somewhere. That's a very specific answer, I know. But maybe we actually need some help down here in Pratihara, Australia. We can have them frontline over here. And we can have them offensive line right down to the sea. That'll do. They can go ahead and help there. Now, as far as Quiche goes, it looks like we are still working on a few holdouts. Quiche has been called in. Okay, I guess there were multiple Quiches. That's fine. Chiapas has capitulated. Great, I don't know where they were. I have literally no idea. Now, these guys, I believe they don't have orders at this juncture. Indeed, they do not. So they are going to reinforce this front line. Excellent. Now, where was Chiapas? I have no idea. We have no divisions assigned to one of these orders. And I definitely think that we want to have some assigned to it. So I'm going to choose 6 units, and we will assign them in right here. And we'll make sure that we are actually doing this, because we don't appear to be as of right now. Now, we do have 30 out of 24 in this. So I'm going to take these 6, and we'll reassign those over to this army. Okay. Otherwise, that looks great. We can't currently do this, apparently. No, they're going. They're going. That's great. Quiche has capitulated. Again. Well, we still need to clean up a fair amount there. So that's fine. We'll get that cleaned up. We've just about got Central America cleaned up. Newfoundland is not going very quickly, is it? Why don't you guys come on in over here? There you go. Fantastic. These guys are naval invading over here. That's perfect. Yarkand has capitulated. About time. Okay, so that means that anyone up here should now be part of the Korchin fight. And I believe, in fact, they are. So that's great. We do still have this one area of Yarkand that needs to be dealt with. We do have one division there, apparently. It's attacking over here. Okay. We definitely need to get this cleaned up a little bit. There's no doubt about that. As far as Free India proper goes, things are going. I mean, we knew that we were going to be stretched pretty thin, right? This was always going to be the case. We're going to continue pushing through Indian W34. Looks like we have finished up over here. So these guys now require orders. And I'm going to tell them... Let's see. Just wondering where I want to put these. Where indeed? Where indeed? We having supply issues over here? What's going on? Yeah, we are having supply issues. Okay, we should definitely construct some naval bases here. And that should solve our supply issues there. Fantastic. As far as this over here goes, it looks like our naval invasion here may have been repelled. And I'm going to tell this army in its entirety, which is this force here, I'm going to tell these guys that they are now fully assigned to this. And then they can go ahead and execute that as soon as they're prepared. Excellent. As far as this over here goes, this is a level 2 naval base, so we should probably go ahead and construct additional naval bases to make sure we have the supplies to take Jamaica. Wonderful. America is collapsing. It will take it a little bit of time. We're still dealing with the last couple of holdouts of Oregon, but it looks like that is under control. Fantastic. Now, as far as Newfoundland goes, we're just going to... I don't think they have any troops. Where did our other guys that just landed here go? Okay, there they are. We're going to just move them up something like that. And that should be Newfoundland capitulating. Wonderful. Pratihara, Australia is still collapsing. How are our supplies in Australia? Actually, just fine. Our supplies are just fine. Hello, pause menu. Excellent. Over in the Kalachurin front, we are definitely pushing back over here. That's great. And we'll reassign these guys over here, although I am noticing that we don't have troops over here. I'm actually going to move these guys back. Come on back, guys. I don't think we need them. I think we've got enough here. We'll just continue pushing these guys south, and we should, I think, overtake them. Eventually, anyway. Excellent. So as far as Kalachuris goes, we're slowly pushing our way in. Korchin, we're also slowly pushing our way in. Wondering what our supplies are like up here. Absolutely fine. More than fine, in fact. Although this unit managed to get itself pocketed, that's, you know, clever of it. Excellent. So we are, of course, done over here. And I want to select these guys. And we've already got units on their way up to Korchin. No, I don't want to reassign them. If we've already got units up here on their way, let's just create a new front line here. It's a mess, that's for sure. We'll create a new front line here, and then we'll do an offensive line, you know, something along the lines of that. Excellent. These guys, they can be sorted in somewhere. The question is, exactly where do we want to put them? These guys are still not invading up here yet, because they aren't assigned. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to assign this army here that has no... Actually, not this army. One of the armies in South America that has no orders. This one is a decent candidate. I'm going to assign this army into this army, and we're going to combine that. And then we'll just split off these 6 like this. And where do they need to go? Do we have anywhere that they currently need to be? We can send some of them over here, and then we'll select 3 of them. And we can send those somewhere like here. Then we only have 1 more that we need. And that's okay for now. We'll leave him at 25 out of 24. Now these guys are lacking in orders, and they should probably be assigned to one of these orders. These guys are already going. Okay. That's fine. We'll just leave that be for now. Jamaica has capitulated. Fantastic. So that's this done. These guys are now relocating up to fight the Caribbean. We've managed to get a toehold over here. Now, I want to select this entire force and assign it here. Do we have a naval base, though? I'm not sure we have a naval base here. Yeah, we do. We absolutely do. Okay, so then we will tell them that their goal is to then offensive line straight down to here. In fact, it should be down here, but yeah, I'm going to try to do that. Yeah, that's possible. Fantastic. Go ahead and begin work on that. Wonderful. America has capitulated. That is a big deal. Okay, so there's that all dealt with. Fantastic. We've almost got the entire New World on our side here. And I'm very happy about that. And then we'll be able to reorganize everything over here. So this is all under control. I want these guys to make sure that they're marching down over here. And this guy, he is going to be naval invading, it looks like. That's fine. Wonderful. So Free India is kind of holding out at this point, but they're also giving ground. There's only so much that they can do here. They've lost a lot of territory already. And they're continuing to lose additional allies. So that is great. We are struggling a bit in dealing with Australia, but that won't be a problem for much longer. There goes Newfoundland. Which of course means that pretty much all we've got left here is the Bahamas. And Bahamas should capitulate very shortly, I think. We just need to finish up that battle, which we are winning, so that's great. And then we need to do Jamaica and finish off taking all of this territory, which we shouldn't have that big of an issue with. Yeah, we're just pushing up at this point. Excellent. These guys... Oh, there goes Corchin. Excellent. These guys, we can sort them in somewhere. The question is where exactly. I suppose this army we could sort them in. Excellent. As well as this one. Any others? Well, we don't have anyone else to sort in, so this is fine. Fantastic. Did we get pushed out of Sulu? I think we did. Oh well. We can focus in more on that a little bit later on. These guys, they're going to go ahead and get themselves a front line here, of course, with all of their divisions assigned in, and then they're going to offensive line straight up to here. Get up there, guys. Excellent. We're going to need to attack this area as well. That's okay. Not too concerned about that. And let's select this full army here and assign them all to this naval invasion. Okay. Free India is continuing to collapse a little bit here, and that is great. They're holding their capital pretty well. However, if we look here, we can see a very large majority of these have capitulated. Free India themselves, they're only 28% towards capitulation, but as we clean up more over here, that means we'll be able to devote more and more to fighting Free India themselves. I'm a little surprised the Bahamas... Oh, those were held directly by Free India, weren't they? I believe they were. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so once we clean up North America here, we are going to... And maybe the Pacific. North America and maybe the Pacific. Once we clean this up, we're going to reorganize our land war. Because that definitely needs to happen. Like, there's all of these units that we're not currently utilizing, and I mean, we don't exactly need them, but they would speed things up, to be sure. We're going to continue pushing up this direction. That'll be great. Continuing to push into Kalaturis over here, as well as over here. And this is absolutely wonderful. I do like seeing a collapsing Free India. That is always exciting. There's very little left over here in the Caribbean. We are going to take some time pushing through this. The liberated states of the British West Indies have just capitulated. So this was held by Free India directly over here. But this capitulated, which means that we can have these guys come on in and help over here. So they can frontline, you know, here adjacent. And they can offensive line over to here. And they can go ahead and execute that as soon as I figure out who is selected. It is these guys. Okay, there we go. Excellent. So we'll throw more troops at that. Should not be an issue. And yes, we are beginning to go a bit over here. But as I said, this is the finale, so we're just going to go as long as it takes here. And that is okay. We pocketed a bit of Free India. That's always nice to see. And as far as this goes, it's just a matter of time at this point before Free India just completely collapses. We're still struggling a little bit to push into Kalaturis over here. That's not super shocking, I suppose. Considering the numbers, we probably want to reinforce this. These guys absolutely need to offensive line down to here. Offensive line down to here. There we go. So that we can free this up. Okay. We're continuing to make some progress. These guys are ready to begin this naval invasion again. We'll give this another go. Excellent. And it looks like we've got this area cleaned up at this point. That is great to see, and then they are going to come down here and reinforce this section. Yep, we've got this under control. At this point, once again, it's only a matter of time. Free India has already lost a lot of territory. We are actually winning this battle this time, so we're going to manage to get Sulu dead, I think. That's huge for us. These guys are finally getting in position for this naval invasion. Absolutely great. And we are still in progress over here on pushing up. Unfortunately, our troops are a ways away still. That's okay. Another 3 days over here. That's fine. We're done over in this area, and that means that these guys absolutely need to be frontlining over here. And we'll choose their whole army and have them be assigned to that. Yeah, we're definitely losing over here. So we want to reinforce this, and we will put their offensive line all the way up here. Excellent. So we'll come reinforce that. These guys, they are, I think, struggling with supplies a bit. No, they're not. They're just chilling. Okay. I mean, they could use some reinforcement. We've definitely taken some losses, but we expected this. We knew we were going to be stretched very thin. I'm going to select these guys over here. That's from this army. Okay, and we're going to start filtering in reinforcements to some of these from this army. So we will go ahead and bring in 3, 4, 5, 6 into this army. Wonderful. And we are going to call that good for now? No, the rest of these are going to go into this army. And yes, he'll be at 25 out of 24, but not, I think, for long. Excellent. Sulu has capitulated. We did, of course, expect this. That is these guys over here. That means that this army is now freed, and we're going to have them come reinforce this. We'll put in our offensive line, and we will tell them to execute that. This had no divisions there. Get in there. Okay. So they will make their way over. Excellent. These guys are not exactly doing so well, are they? Not exactly. I'm guessing we have a complete and utter lack of supplies here, don't we? Yes, we do. We have a complete lack of supplies. Let's put naval bases in, shall we? And also land forts here, just in case. Okay. We'll see if we manage to hold that or not. I hope we do. I mean, we could... Let's see, this is Majapahit that controls this. Boop, boop, boop. Do we have any nearby air bases? We kind of do. No, we kind of don't. Okay. Awkward. We're probably going to end up losing this then. Yeah, this army is going to get wiped, so we're going to need a new army. I should have realized that they had no naval bases. That was my own mistake. Absolutely. That is this army. I mean, most of this army is actually assigned over in Pratihara, Australia. That's another part of the issue there, to be sure. We're going to get kicked out of here. That's okay. We will redo this naval invasion. That's completely fine. These guys, they should be executing this naval invasion. Why can't they? Still preparing. Okay, that's fine. Completely okay with that one. Supply-wise, we're doing okay over here. The reinforcements are rolling up to the line for Kalaturis. That is wonderful. Free India is still taking a lot of hits. We have these guys who I'm not entirely sure are on this front. Get in there. There we go. Excellent. And then there is these guys who are supposed to be on... That's not a front at all. Hello, Consul. We don't need you right now. Okay. So Free India is putting up a bit of a fight. These guys are taking forever to get down here. We should probably check in on infrastructure. That's a thing we haven't been doing. So let's do this and this. All of this infrastructure up here. Wonderful. And over here. And over here. All of this. Fantastic. Okay, so with that underway, we will continue to crush Free India. Of course, we're going to need to reorganize all of this. That was always expected. These guys are now almost arriving at the front. They're taking a while to get there. They're taking their sweet time. There's no doubt about that. But they'll get there soon enough. We have reinforcements arriving at the Brunei front as well. So that's great. And of course we have plenty of reserves. But we are finishing up Indian W-34 as we speak. They will capitulate probably when Port Moresby here falls. Is my guess. Okay. We're intercepting a lot of naval units. That's fine. How's Free India doing on their manpower? They're down to 24 to 36 million. Okay, that's fine. That is completely fine. How are we doing over here? We're still pushing in. And we are winning this. But this tank is holding out pretty well. That's okay. We will definitely win this. These guys, they... Where are the rest of this unit? They're down over here. They're kind of all over. Okay. We're definitely going to need to do some reorg, right? But that's completely fine. We're still getting pushed back over here? Huh. Why do we only have 16 supplies here? That's a level 10 naval base. No, seriously, why is our naval base limiting us to 9? It is because of this route efficiency, perhaps? Yeah, because it goes through the Bay of Bengal. Okay, we only have the 4 ships in Bay of Bengal right now. I'm actually going to move these guys out of the Gulf of Thailand, and we're going to move them over to the Bay of Bengal. That should help matters dramatically. Okay, we may get pushed off of Sumatra here, but we'll see if we do. Hopefully we get there in time. They will be there now. And how did that deal with our supplies? Out of 19. Okay, so that's better. It's not great, but it is better. I'm going to go ahead and start building land forts in all... Nope, that's not how that works. I'm going to go ahead and start building land forts in all of these locations. And I'm also going to build naval bases everywhere we can. Okay. I want to make sure that we hold this. We definitely need the supplies. There's no doubt about that one. We also need to make sure that we are building land forts out here. And that we are building naval bases. Not naval dockyards, naval bases out here. Okay, there we go. Naval dockyards are, I guess, fine, but we don't necessarily need them. Okay, we can also airlift some supplies over from Kuala Lumpur, and we're going to do so. We will go down to our transport planes, which are beneath our scout planes, if I recall correctly. Yep, here we go. And we're going to transfer in a number of those. That number, 300. And we will tell them to air supply over here. I'm also going to move in some jet fighters. These are all bombers here, heavy fighters. Where are our jet fighters at? I know our jet fighters are in here somewhere. The question is, where? Huh. These are all bombers now. Jet fighters, where are you? You're by the rocket interceptors, aren't you? I have a memory of this. I really wish there was a search box. I really wish there was a search box for these. Wait, here we go. Jet Fighter 1? Where's Jet Fighter 2? Here we go. Jet Fighter 2. Okay, finally. So we're going to toss in 1,000 of those. And we're going to set those for air superiority. For air superiority over Sumatra. There we go. And then these guys are going to be air supplying. The question is, do we have the command power for this? The answer is maybe. Maybe. So let's get some air supply in here. Man, they're pushing us back hard. We're taking forever to get there. Come on, guys. There we go, finally. So now we should get some air supply in there, in theory. Although that might be too much. They're currently on air supply, allocated 89.7, transport wing. Okay. There we go. So now we have some air supply here, and we should be able to start pushing these guys back. Yeah, we're definitely beginning to win that. Fantastic. As far as this over here goes, do we lack supply in Brunei? Not exactly, but I'm going to go ahead and build another set of naval bases just to make sure. Okay. So we are continuing to push in over here. I would like to see this army group have an offensive line that's like getting rid of this bulge. That would be ideal. And go ahead and do that. Excellent. Okay, so it looks like we're now beginning to win over here. And that's great. Now, these armies it's only this army that exists here now, right? This one does too, although it's still on the way. Okay. It's a ways off still. That's fine. So this should give us the time we need. Yeah, we're starting to push back against them now a little bit here. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so now that we're pushing back there again, I want to check in on this force here. We're still struggling to take their capital. And I don't think there's supply issues over here. No, there really, really isn't. These guys are making their way in, approximately. So let's get this all cleaned up, and once this is all cleaned up, we definitely need to reorganize. I want to check in on the Caribbean over here. We're still working on pushing our way in. Now, our supplies are actually absolutely fine here. No worries there. Indian W-34 has capitulated. That is these guys. We're still going to be doing a little bit of cleanup here, looks like. And that's okay. So we'll take them out. And then we can use those forces to clean up some of this area over here. We're definitely pushing back over here, and that's fantastic to see. Our reinforcements will arrive here, and then we will definitely start pushing them. We'll go ahead and sort our new unit into that army. That'll be fine. Excellent. Why don't you go on and get in there? There we go. These guys, I want them to go on and get in here as well. Attack this just as hard as you can. They have no supplies, so get in there. Excellent. So this is not accessible. Good to note. This is also not accessible. And that leads up to here. Yeah, this is doable. This is very doable. It will require redeployments, and that's okay. That is completely okay. So we're trying to push our way in over here, and actually, I'm going to potentially just continue nuking these. These islands, very annoying to push through. We're just going to nuke them. There we go. We've got plenty of nukes. Kaboom. There we go. We may nuke them again. That is very bright. Very, very bright. No doubt about that one. Okay, I want these guys up here, if I can select them. These guys up here to be attacking right here. Yes, we're likely to lose this. They have very little supplies available, though, so I just want to make sure that this is happening. Let's get in there, clean these pockets up. And then we'll reorganize our Free Indian front. Over here, we're making some progress. It's looking very, very good, actually. Our reinforcements should be arriving very shortly. Or they're already there, one or the other. Down here, we're slowly grinding our way across Borneo. And that is fantastic. We're now beginning to win over here, and I'm going to drop an additional round of nukes. Excellent. I just want to do a lot of damage to their supply lines over here is what I want. Specifically, I want to push them out of these naval bases. Excellent. As far as this over here goes, I mean, we don't have the strategic bombers in position to nuke over here. We could put them in, but that sounds like work. These guys are still working on this. Let's have all of these forces that are up here, with the exception of these. So all of these guys, come on in. Hit them hard. If we take this victory point, then that means that these guys are fully cut off from any amount of supplies. So I think we have the victory point at this point, and then we should definitely reorganize. Okay, well, send these guys into this army, these guys into this army. That'll be fine. Okay. So let's go ahead and attack this. That was probably more troops than I wanted to pull, but okay. I want this to fall, for sure. And we'll reorg this just as soon as we can. We're holding on to our toehold over here, which is great. Our supplies are going to be getting better and better all the time. They're going to have a hard time pushing us off of there. That is wonderful. And Free India, we are continuing to attack relentlessly. I do want this area to fall. I really, really do. We're going to go ahead and do a little bit more nuking, I think. There we go. How goes Free India's capitulation, anyway? They're 31% towards capitulation. Once we reorg, they're going to be a lot more towards capitulation. That'll be absolutely wonderful. Kalaturis is definitely proving to be a little bit tougher than expected, but they're doing... I mean, that's pushing through mountains over there, and we had a lack of supplies over here, so that's not too surprising. All things considered. Okay, down here our reinforcements are arriving. Actually, our reinforcements are heading over here. Okay, that's fine. I'm completely okay with that. Free India is continuing to collapse. So that is wondrous. I do want the Caribbean gone. ASAP. We're going to keep nuking it. There we go. We'll take out a few of their troops. And hopefully give us an advantage in this attack. And that appears to be maybe what's happening there. We'll have to see. We're continuing to attack Brunei, and we have attacked over here now. We definitely need to make sure that we are building naval bases here, as well as building land forts. And then these guys, they will go ahead and frontline. Apparently we can't draw a front line here. That's very awkward. Okay, they will get an offensive line, which is just up here. There we go. And they'll go ahead and execute that. Maybe they'll get themselves a front line out of it at some point. They actually... Yeah, they don't have the organization to attack, and that's probably what's going on there. We definitely need to get some supplies in there. We'll get started on that. Excellent. Free India has pushed out over here a little bit, it looks like, but that's okay. I don't exactly care. We're continuing to push them in, and as soon as the Caribbean falls over here, as soon as this falls, we'll reorg. Which, by the way, we're going to nuke them again. There we go. There's nowhere for them to hide. So let's make our way in here. This battle will last for another 6 days, apparently. Excellent. We are... I wouldn't say making progress over here, but it's getting better, especially now that our reinforcements are arriving. That's great. Excellent. Free India is putting up more of a fight than I expected, to be sure. But overall, the tide is beginning to turn in our favor. We will reorganize all of this just as soon as the Caribbean falls, which it looks like they have. Or very, very, very close to it. We're going to nuke this location. Kaboom. And we're going to nuke it again. Kaboom. And now the Caribbean has fallen. Fantastic. Okay, so that means that I believe everything over here is dealt with. Everything over here is as well. So we need to attack here. We're still doing a little bit... Oh, I did not want to get the sun up there. Okay, we're still attacking a little bit in Pratihara, Australia, but it looks like this should be well under control. We'll tell everybody to attack here, and we'll tell everybody up here to get in here. Excellent. We'll get that done, And we'll need like one army group for all of this stuff, and that'll probably be this army group. We'll move these guys into this army group. Where are these guys located? Okay, Newfoundland, that's fine. So we're going to need to have this army group be the one that is responsible for all of this nonsense. Okay, that'll need 2 additional armies in theory. Okay, and then this one up here. Actually, we can assign those guys over here. That'll be okay. And then this army group, pretty much just these guys right now, which we'll assign them in here. Okay. That'll be okay. So these guys are currently assigned over here. We're going to go ahead and remove all of their orders. And their orders are now to form a front line right here. This is uncrossable, so that makes a good natural border for us. Their goal is to eliminate Kalaturis. So they'll just push up to, say, there. Excellent. Now then, these guys, we're going to remove all of their orders, and we're going to give them the order to front line right here. Their mission will be to offensive line to about here. Okay. Next up is these guys. That does include this force. So I'm not going to include this force right now. This army is not included. However, they are going to frontline right up here. And their mission is to offensive line, essentially... Whoa, hang on a moment. We're going to remove all their orders. They are going to come up here and frontline. There we go. And then their mission is to offensive line, essentially right across like this. Wonderful. Next up is these guys. Now, these guys are in Papua New Guinea and Australia and off over here. They're a ways away, that's for sure. But their mission is to come over here. We're going to remove all of their orders for right now. I'm going to deal with the Australian guys separately, though. They're going to come on over here, and their orders are to offensive line something along the lines of this. They'll go ahead and execute that. However, the Australian units, for right now, their orders remain, which is to continue to attack these areas. Okay, get in there. Fantastic. Next up is, I believe, this army. Yes. And their orders are to come on over here and garrison this side, and they will offensive line over to, say, here. Now, this will likely lose us some territory while this is happening. I'm aware of this. But that's okay. That is something that I am willing to give up temporarily to have a much, much stronger position in the future. And we're going to continue to attack them very hard over here. So that's okay. And yeah, we can see here that we are currently falling back from the subcontinent. That is something that I expect to happen, but I also expect that we're going to get here in time to have a toehold there. Okay. How much manpower does Kalaturis still have? 0. They have 0 manpower. Okay. How about Free India? They are currently down to 28 to 38 million. Okay, they've got plenty of manpower for now. That's fine. While we're doing this reorganization, I'm going to go ahead and bump up to speed 5 for the moment. This is taking a little longer than I anticipated, to be sure. I would like to see some of these finishing up. Particularly this one would be great. That's going to be done on 23 March, so just in 5 days, we will start getting supplies over here. Excellent. And I want to make sure that all of these are actually executing. Yeah, they are. Okay, that's fine. And yes, as expected, we're going to lose territory over here. That is known. And that is something that I am completely fine with. We should have this supply limit over here now. Pratihara, Australia has capitulated. That is fantastic. That means that these guys are all going to be making their way up over here or somewhere. These guys are coming over here. Yeah, this is Army Group 4, Army Group 2. Okay, that's not helpful. Is this Army Group 2? Yes, this is Army Group 2 here. So these guys are going to get assigned over to here. They will make their way northward. I'm also thinking about assigning these other guys. Let's see, they're currently in this army group. Okay. That's okay. I think I'm going to assign them to this naval invasion order. Although we'll make them a new naval invasion order. I don't want to disband this army. So we'll get them... No, that's not how this works at all. Okay, we'll get them to naval invade from here to here. There we go. And they'll go ahead and execute that. Okay. Fantastic. Now, Kalaturis cannot keep this up. They absolutely can't. So we're going to push in here just as quick as we can. Yes, we are fully expecting to give up some territory over here. We're also expecting that our troops will eventually arrive at the fronts. I really hope they do. It'd be awkward if they didn't. These guys over here should be given a front line if they can. Their front line is super awkward. Okay. We're going to try to attack over here. We failed. Excellent. We're going to tell this guy to attack aggressively, though. Just keep going. Fantastic. Once again, this is fully expected. If they manage to push us out of here, then that's okay. It's not the end of the world. This is Army Group 2 that is assigned to this, and the question is, how far away are they? The answer is probably quite... we have some troops that are going to be arriving there relatively soon, looks like. I don't know that that's enough to hold this, though. But we're completely pulling out of there right now, and so this was completely expected. Excellent. So we are making some good progress here. There's no doubt about that. We're pushing in. And we're pushing in over here now as well. Brunei we're still struggling with a little bit. And I'm wondering if this is a supply issue here. No, I think it's just a numbers issue. And terrain is what we're struggling with there. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so we now have 2 naval bases here. That's great. And we're just going to continue working on that. Okay, it looks like our reinforcements are arriving down here, and they'll be able to hold this. That is fantastic to see. I did guess that correctly. That was a gamble. That was definitely a gamble. Okay, so these guys are struggling to push in a bit, but we shouldn't be able to be pushed out either. So we'll attack up here just as soon as we can. And these guys are planning their naval invasion. That's completely fine. We're definitely struggling a bit to push in here. There's no doubt about that. Free India is putting up a good fight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a new wing of jet strategic bombers. We're going to make there be about 1,000 of them here, approximately. And they are going to be working on strategic bombing over here. Because I want to break their capital. Now, we don't, I think, have the air superiority currently, so we'll go ahead and get it. And we're going to put in our jet fighters, if I can remember where exactly those are in here. Jet fighters, jet fighters. Wait, I think I saw them there very briefly. Tactical bombers, scout planes, jet tacticals. So many. I really wish there was a search box in here. That would be so nice. Wait, jet fighters. I saw them there. Ah! I lost them. Those are jet fighter 1s. Here we go. There we go. Okay. We'll bump that up to 1,000. And we'll get ourselves the air superiority over here, since we apparently need that. Should not be a problem. There we go. We've got the air superiority, and we'll just go ahead and drop a nuke over here as soon as we can. We don't actually have the air superiority yet. Ah, I see. Yeah, there is currently not a ton of air superiority here, 43.3. That's okay, though. That will help us push this in. Fantastic. As far as this goes, we're still apparently getting pushed back. I'm wondering if it's a supply issue at this point. It is not. I think it's just a numerical issue. Yeah. We're good at this point. I think we've stabilized. So that's great. Kalaturis is almost gone, which was the entire point of this army group. And Free India is in collapse, as is Kalaturis down here. So that is great to see. How are Brunei and Majapahit doing on their manpower? 0 for Brunei. Majapahit is at 0. That is phenomenal. I'm very, very happy to see that. Okay. Let's just get in there, shall we? We're still having more troops filter their way over to the front. And we'll get an additional reinforcement in over here. And over here. We are taking losses. This is, of course, to be expected. I still want to nuke their capital. Okay, Peshawar. Let's see if we can nuke you yet. Not yet. We don't have the air superiority. We will. We certainly will. This airbase is now under our control. So we can give that one additional jet fighters. If we can find them in the list. I'm sure they're here somewhere. Let's see. They were down by the strategic... Or where were they? No, they're not ready. Get out of here. There's the close air supports. The jet tactical bombers. I really wish this was alphabetical. That would be really, really convenient if it was. Scout planes, blah, blah, blah. It was near the scout planes. I know that. I think I passed it there. Atcha has capitulated. Okay. I know it was around here. Jet fighters. Here we go. That should not be that hard to find jet fighters. I'll be honest. Okay, and then we will tell them to come help out over here. Wonderful. Additional reinforcements will start flowing in, and that looks like that's it for now. And we are beginning to make proper gains now. We've not managed to get across this strait yet, but we definitely will. We have managed to invade over here, and we should definitely start building naval bases. But at the same time, we're going to tell these guys that they're going to offensive line straight out to here, just like before. But this time, they've got some supplies in the back, theoretically. So we're going to push out that way. Kalaturis is nearly gone. And the Indian capital is probably getting pretty close to having sufficient air support or air superiority here. Yeah, it's getting there, to be sure. And that's great. I mean, I'm not surprised that Free India is putting up a bit of a fight, but I thought it would be less of a fight than this, in all honesty. It looks like we are going to succeed in attacking over here. That is absolutely wonderful. Yep, it looks like they are going to fall. More capitulation will be happening, which is great. Absolutely great. Ternate has capitulated, as expected. So we will go ahead and plan a naval invasion then from here to here. Technically, we don't need that naval invasion, but we will plan it anyway, and we'll tell them to execute that. Because technically, we now control this over here, and we can build a naval base there. We'll get started on that as a backup plan. Okay. How close is Kalaturis to capitulating? That is something that I'm very interested in finding out here. Kalaturis. 100%. Okay, there they go. Kalaturis has capitulated. There's a couple of holdouts over here, but these armies will definitely need to come down over here. I am going to combine them, and then we will split off, say, let's see here, we need to split off 12? There we go. And we'll make a new army out of that, and we'll pop them over here, and we'll tell them that their mission is immediately to come down and frontline over here, which apparently they can't do because they can't get to... Okay, that's awkward. Well, they will continue to push in over here then. I'll just tell them that their mission is to walk over to here. There we go. Okay, so Kalaturis has capitulated. There's a little bit of cleanup to do over here. How are we doing on the Free India air superiority? We don't quite have it yet. We're getting close, though. Their air superiority is definitely declining. We are at 68.3%. Fantastic. So we're cleaning up Kalaturis over here. And at this point, these 12 units should now be capable of frontlining over here. But apparently they're not. Regardless, we will tell them to offensive line right over here. And they can go ahead and execute that as soon as they're ready. And then we'll have these guys follow that up as soon as they've cleaned up Kalaturis over here. Wonderful! So we are now making some progress over here. That's great to see. That is absolutely phenomenal, in fact. And these guys will be making their way over soon enough. In Brunei, it's still slow going. But they can't reinforce over here very well, so that is good. Free India, has their capital fallen? Not quite, but we've almost pocketed their capital. That's a huge deal, actually. Pocketing their capital would be enormous. And that is indeed exactly what it's looking like we're going to do. This army here, I'm not sure that they actually have any attack orders. So we'll go ahead and give them an offensive line right over here and tell them to execute that. There we go. I want their capital to be under constant attack. Fantastic. So, Kalaturis is now pretty much dead down here. They're completely overrun. So these guys, they're going to go ahead and set up a front line over here, and they're going to set up their offensive line also right up over... Offensive line. Also right up over here. And they will go ahead and execute that. Majapahit will fall given enough time. They're falling over here for sure. And yeah, you can see here they took this territory, so that's fine. We will engage this just as soon as this invasion is planned, which will only be a few more days. Excellent. Free India is in collapse at this point. I don't think they can keep this up. They're currently down to 26 million. Yeah, they've lost 10 million manpower since we last checked. Who else is still in the war? We've got... Let's see. Free India, Brunei, Sarawak, I'm not sure where they are. Majapahit, Sulawesi, I'm not sure where they are. Timor, and that's it. Okay. Fantastic. Where is Sulawesi and Timor? Sulawesi. Ah, that's these guys. Okay, what about Timor? That's... Hang on. Isn't this Majapahit? Oh, this is not controlled by us. This is controlled by Timor. Okay, I was confused by the color then. Noted. We will definitely have to naval invade that. Provisional government of the Ming Empire? Get out of here, Ming. You are not ready for that. Okay. So the front is definitely narrowing. There is no doubt about that. Do we still have troops over here? Actually, we do. These guys should definitely be prepping a naval invasion over to here. And they can go ahead and execute that as soon as they're ready. There we go. That's underway. And I believe that is everything underway. Funnily enough, this capital hasn't fallen yet. That is kind of entertaining. We're going to give these guys an offensive line of right here, and we'll tell them to go ahead and execute that. There we go. This is quite a spaghetti strand that they've got going on here. But Free India is in full collapse at this point. They're cut off from their capital, which is huge. They have basically no supplies. So that is great. This is pretty over. Yeah, this is quite over. Their supplies are just gone. They have multiple pockets now. And they're just collapsing. GG, Free India. It was fun while it lasted, guys. But it can't last forever. Now can it? However, like I said, this is not going to be the end of this particular series. Next up in the Mega Campaign is Kerbal Space Program. So we're going to finish cleaning up Free India here. It should not be too much longer. And then we will be swapping on over. Not this episode, but next episode in this same slot. It'll technically be a new series, like with a new schedule update and such, but it's still part of the Mega Campaign. Their capital still hasn't fallen, even though it's cut off from literally everything else. That's entertaining. We've also not managed to break onto Majapahit yet. Well, we'll get there. Especially without Free Indian support. They are losing control of this territory. Slowly, but they are losing it. And that is excellent. Brunei is actually holding out very well. Considering we don't have a supply issue there. We're just bad at fighting in jungle mountains, I guess. There goes Free India. Free India has capitulated. There's this one last holdout area here. Excellent. A beautiful, beautiful Indian subcontinent. That's what I like to see right there. Okay. We have low manpower. That's expected. Our enemies also basically no longer exist. So there's that. These guys over here, I'm going to go ahead and move 10 units into them. There we go. We'll move them over here, and we'll tell them that I want an offensive line over here. But I also want to select half of this. And we'll tell them that they are going to frontline here, and their offensive line will be here. Nobody's currently assigned to that. Now they are. Excellent. Get out there. Okay. As far as this goes over here, that's going to take some time for sure. This naval invasion has happened. They are going to have their offensive line be right on over here. They're going to go ahead and execute that. And we are going to construct naval bases, just to make sure we have supplies. In theory, it should be okay. We do have a victory point there, so we have some level of supplies. I do want to build some infrastructure. Mutinies in the army. That's rude. That's very rude. We'll spend the political power on it, though. I don't mind. Oh, it's because we have basically no war support right now. Okay, well, that's entertaining. Well, we have literally no war support, actually. But the war is also basically over. We are just going to need to crush a few remaining holdouts and build some infrastructure up here, because, you know, why not build infrastructure? There we go. And we should probably work on some propaganda. There we go. Excellent. So we're making progress over here, and we'll continue to fill these out for now. I mean, a lot of these don't have orders now, right? And we can't really bring them to bear against these island nations. So there's that. These guys over here, they are currently about 40 days away from launching their invasion. We got pushed out over here. That actually surprises me. Okay. We will tell these guys to come plan a naval invasion. Like so. Okay. And we will go ahead and confirm that and tell them to go as soon as they're done. Now, this might go away when these guys capitulate. It's hard to say. We're actually getting pushed back over here now. Okay. I'm going to bring in a full army group here. This is going to be massive overkill, and this is also going to be rough on the old supply chain. However, this will crush this force once they arrive, and we're going to need to make sure that we've got ourselves a lot of supplies over here for this. So let's get ourselves some supplies constructing. Excellent. And these guys will arrive, I think, pretty soon, actually. Yeah, some of these are quite close. Excellent. And I'm going to have this army group come on down over here. And we're going to have them also offensive lining over to here. As soon as this autosave is done, anyway. There we go. And they can go ahead and execute that one. So they'll make their way over, and once again, that's probably going to be a lot of supplies. We will go ahead and do that. Fantastic. Okay. Our reinforcements have arrived, or are arriving, as we speak. Now, this is not great for our supplies. That is true. But we have that being worked on. I am going to go ahead and remove our... Let's see, that's transport wing on Sumatra. I'm going to remove that... Where was that transport wing at? That was over here. We're going to move those over to this location here. And we're going to have them hitting up Borneo. We'll drop some extra supplies in there. Excellent. And we'll also have these guys stationed at this airbase, like so. Okay. So as we start to finish up some of these naval bases, we should start seeing our supplies come up slowly, very, very slowly. But at the same time, I'm hoping to overwhelm these guys with sheer force of numbers. I'm going to send this unit of tank down just to grab this victory point over here. There we go. There is this up here as well. So it can grab that once it is down here. Actually, it can just head up here since we have two going. There we go. Fantastic. Okay, these guys will engage this as soon as they're ready. And we are currently landing over here. And it looks like... Okay, we're coming around that way. That is fine. Bam. Fantastic. Okay, so let's go ahead and assign these guys here, and then we will select half of our force, and we will give them a front line over here and assign them into that. And then we'll offensive line, boom, and offensive line, boom. And then we will select all of these, assign them to this, select half, assign them to this, and there we go. Excellent. That should not take much time at all. Timor has capitulated. Yep, that took basically nothing. Excellent. So you can see here we've built a lot of naval bases, which should mean our supplies are substantially better. They're kind of not. They're a little better, I suppose. What do we need for infrastructure up here? Yeah, that's a lot of things happening. We can go ahead and build infrastructure over here, for sure. As well as over here. That is going to help us tremendously. Excellent. I'll be honest, I didn't expect these guys to be the tough ones. Sulawesi has capitulated. Fantastic. So these guys will come on in over here. And then this army here, we're going to begin working on a naval invade from here to here. And they can execute that as soon as that's ready. Okay. I don't think they're going to hold this off for too much longer. We will continue to move some reinforcements in. Excellent. And there's just these last couple of locations here. I do want to make sure that we are constructing any naval bases here that we can, because we're going to need them. We are certainly going to need them. Okay, there we go. And I think we're beginning to push these guys back a little bit. We're up to 73 supply here, so that's good. Excellent. As far as Majapahit goes, we're going to start pushing them back pretty soon. A big part of our issue is our infrastructure is struggling over here. I do want to check to see that our infrastructure is actually constructing. And indeed it is. It's going to be a while before another level finishes, but we did finish one there, so that's great. We have managed to grab this territory at this point, and we're going to have these guys offensive lining straight up to here. We're going to make sure that we are constructing naval bases here so that we can get off. However, there is a naval base here as well, so these guys can go ahead and execute this. There we go. There's a naval base here, so if we can capture this naval base, then we're going to be in a very, very good position. These units here can be reassigned, and I think I'm going to reassign them to come invade over here. So we'll do a naval invasion from here to here. Excellent. And we'll confirm that. And they can go ahead and execute that as soon as they're ready. Fantastic. Yes, Brunei is now collapsing. That is perfect. We're still struggling to push over here. Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to succeed. Especially with these invasions in their backline. So that'll be great. We will continue to attack these guys as soon as we can. Our naval bases are, of course, under construction up here. And once we have the supplies, then we should be good. And yeah, as our supplies are coming up here... Actually, it's not even our supplies. We're just beating them through sheer numbers, is what's happening right now. I am interested in seeing when these naval invasions will happen. This one will be after the autosave for sure. Another 50 days on that one. And then this one will be another 60 days. Okay. Well, hopefully Brunei will have crumbled by then. Okay, we have supplies coming in up here now. I'm interested in telling these guys to aggressively attack now that we have some level of supplies here. Excellent. And we'll just push them back. So let's see who we still have in this war. We've got Sarawak, who are... Where are these guys? I don't actually know. I feel like I checked earlier. Okay, that's these guys up here. That's fine. We've got them left. We've got Brunei. We've got Majapahit. And that's it. Fantastic. This army group needs to be aggressively attacking here. Like, just keep going. This army group is already on aggressively attack. That's good. Brunei will likely capitulate quite soon here. Majapahit has no manpower left that we know of. Yeah, no manpower left. So they can't keep this up. Brunei also has no manpower. And Sarawak has... Let's see here. 7,000 manpower. Okay. They will run out very quickly. And we are definitely improving our supplies up here. That's great. Our local infrastructure has taken a beating. There's no doubt about that. But overall, this is going quite well. Kalachuri Sumatra is now doing quite well in terms of the infrastructure, which means that our supplies will be coming through much nicer. We're still struggling to cross this strait. That's not a surprise. Strait crossings are complicated. However, I am potentially interested in... Yeah, all of these guys should be assigned to this same exact thing. Now, there's some units up here as well. Let's go ahead and move all of these units. That is not how that works. Army Group 6. This is Army Group 1. Awkward. Right. Right. Yeah, that's the way that's supposed to work. Never mind, I'm a moron. We already knew this, of course. We're struggling to attack over here, but it should, in theory, be reasonably okay. We've got full naval supremacy around all of these regions. And I think as soon as these naval invasions go off, which, there it goes, that's pretty much a death sentence for them, I think. Now that they have to fight on two sides here. So we're going to tell these guys that they are going to have their offensive line be, say, here. And they can go ahead and execute that. And then all of these guys in Army Group 6, their offensive line is now going to be this right here. And they can go ahead and execute that. So we are attacking these guys from two sides at this point. And that is great. Yeah, we're just really pushing them back over here. And that's fully expected. We're struggling over here, we will not struggle over here. We already attacked this way, so we already built up what we need. That is great. This division is unassigned and should probably get assigned. There we go. Couple of divisions assigned. And we should be seeing Brunei capitulate quite soon here. I really think we will. And that's all maxed in terms of infrastructure. Okay. Sounds good to me. Brunei has very little left. We're still struggling a bit over here. That's okay, though. No real worries on this front. And we have successfully pushed up over here. That is great to see. I want to have these guys also be pushing in. There we go. Wonderful. More of Majapahit falling. Always great to see. And we will continue to push through here if we can. This is 30 units. That should be more than enough. We still have not managed to break onto their main island from the front here, but now that they're losing territory from the back as well, and I'm going to tell these guys to naval invade from here straight onto this main island, like right there. We'll confirm that. And they will execute that with all 24 divisions as soon as they're ready. Assuming we haven't pushed up there with this force yet. Excellent. Now, of course, our manpower is dropping, and we are aware of this, but our manpower is still a lot higher than all of their manpowers. So that's great. Where's the Brunei capital? Do they have territory that I don't know about? Or do they just not have a capital anymore? I have no idea. Okay. Maybe it's just not showing up for some reason. Who knows? At any rate, we will continue pushing in here, and we should have no real problem. I'm pretty sure that we are pretty much in full control now, and it's just a matter of time. Yeah, we pocketed these guys. That's going to be another 3 units dead. Eventually, anyway. Eventually. I really didn't think that Brunei and Majapahit would be the holdouts here. But there's not much left of them, and I don't think they're going to hold out for too much longer. Brunei has capitulated. Excellent. So there goes Brunei. And of course, there's still Sarawak here and Majapahit. Sarawak will capitulate, but Majapahit probably will not from this. I don't think they're anywhere close to capitulating, Majapahit. But they are the last nation standing. Yeah, they're 2% towards capitulation right now. Okay, that is completely fine. As we continue to take this over, this should clean up pretty easily. Like, if we look at the current movement orders, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is all falling in the very near future. As far as this invasion over here goes, we are just being held off here. I think this is land forts that we built. Yeah, pretty sure that's land forts that we built. This naval invasion is prepping, and it will be ready to go in about 40 days. So that's okay. As far as this goes over here, they're still holding us off, which is a little surprising. How are we doing on supplies? Absolutely fine. No concerns there. So we'll just let that continue going, I guess. And you can see here, Brunei has definitely started cleaning up. Absolutely. We're about to get quite a bit of territory here. And that is great. That means that they have essentially nothing at this point. We're still bogged down over here and over here. Attacking Majapahit is proving to be quite difficult across this strait. It's not a shock, but it is slightly irritating, to be sure. We'll go ahead and move some troops in over here. There we go. Sarawak will certainly fall very shortly. Brunei capitulating here pretty much gave us this island. So that is fantastic. They do have apparently a fair amount of supplies that they're still producing. And yeah, we're struggling a bit over here. I do want, I think, to move in a few additional troops here. We currently only have 18. I'm going to move in... Like, actually, we'll select all, and then we'll move in 10 here, and then an additional 2. From here. Okay, there we go. Those guys will make their way over, and that should hopefully be enough to turn the tide there. Now, I'm pretty sure that what we've got going on here is just a bottleneck situation. A little bit in terms of the supplies here, actually. We could, in theory, we already built the necessary infrastructure, but we could, in theory, build up a few additional naval bases up over here, which should give us what we need to break through here. That said, we've already got this ongoing, which should be completely fine. Yeah, we're making progress over here. There's no doubt about that. And this naval invasion will go off in just a couple of days. So that is fantastic. Sarawak should be falling momentarily. Yeah, we're starting to win that fight. Great. And down here we've got a couple of pockets. There we go, cleaned that one up. Take a victory point for Majapahit here. That'll be great. And of course, we have some units on their way to join this force. We are now naval invading over here. We have succeeded. We're going to select half of this, and we're going to give them a front line that is over here. There we go. And then we're going to give them an offensive line that basically takes their capital. Like this. Now, I do want to make sure that we are constructing a naval base here, as well as land forts. There we go. Excellent. This is only 12 divisions assigned to this right now. Are we pushing in over here? No, these guys are just not attacking. Okay. An interesting choice, to be sure. Here goes Sarawak, meaning that the only ones remaining now are Majapahit. They will capitulate just as soon as we finish up this movement. This is over. Well, not the Majapahit portion, but the Borneo portion is over. Okay, we definitely have more troops over here now, and we're doing a little bit better, but these attacks are not going tremendously well. That's okay. We've got them under control over here in theory. I'm just wondering... There are no units assigned to this order. Come on over here, guys. Everyone should be assigned to this order, and then half of them should be assigned to this order. There we go. And then we'll have these guys push an offensive line, something like over here. And they can go ahead and execute that as soon as they're prepared to do so. I am wondering why we stopped attacking over here. Oh, it's because our offensive line disappeared. I'm a moron. So we are just going to put in an That's not an offensive line. We're going to put in an offensive line right there. And we're going to continue our attack. Excellent. Okay, Sarawak. Let's see you gone. There we go. They will capitulate now. And all that's left is Majapahit. However, they're fighting this war on like 5 different fronts, and they don't have the resources to pull this off. Go ahead and go. There we go. Excellent. So we've got these guys now cut off from their capital. They are still going to be able to get some naval supplies in here, but it's going to be very inefficient for them. So I'm expecting that this force should be able to start making progress. We do have some unassigned divisions, and we'll start assigning those over. There's not a lot of those, of course. We're not doing too much recruitment. There we go. And we will come on over here again. Hello, Majapahit. And there's our autosave. Fantastic. What's our supplies like over here, huh? 10? Okay. That's not great, to be sure. I was thinking about dropping in our army group here, but that would not be good for supplies. Maybe the army group over here, though. 121? It's a bit on the low side for that. Okay, well, I think what I am going to do is definitely bring in some air superiority over here. That is certainly something that I want to do. Where are our jet fighter 2s? They're right up here. I know they're here. Past all the close air supports. I really wish there were search boxes. Okay. Here we go. That's what we're looking for. We'll put in a fighter wing of 1,000 here, and we will tell them to come get air superiority over here. And then we'll put in some jet strategic bombers, and we'll have there be 1,000 of these as well. And we will tell them to do some strategic bombing over here. And of course, these guys will be on air superiority. Excellent. That should help us pretty dramatically as well. And we're now going to nuke their capital. Kaboom. We are also going to nuke this right here. And we're going to nuke this right here. Kaboom. Hello, autosave. Excellent. With those nukes coming in, we should, in theory, be able to begin pushing. We may have to do another round of nukes, though. I'm going to do one more nuke here. And it looks like we don't need one more nuke over here, but I will nuke this. Excellent. And now that we can widen up that front, we should be completely fine to push in. They actually managed to wipe this. I'm a little surprised by that, but okay, it doesn't matter. That is completely fine. This army group is now just completely running amok here. So we're going to give them a front line. Actually, we're going to just delete this for now. We're going to give them a front line right here. No, that's not how this works. We're going to give them a front line right here, and their offensive line will be right here. Now that we've made it across the strait, it's over. They don't have a single chance. So that is GG. With the world unified, we can turn our eyes to the stars. We will, of course, need to spend a little bit more time here wrapping this up. I'm going to nuke their capital again. I'm going to nuke this force here, and I'm going to nuke these guys here. Excellent. Are these guys not actually going? Go. There we go. That does it. So we are pushing them right on back. They must be awful close to capitulation at this point. They are 64% towards capitulation. I think when their capital falls, they will capitulate. We're continuing to push in over here with this force. And our main army group over here is just moving in super quickly. Fantastic. I also like how this is a feature-length episode. That's exciting, to be sure. We'll go ahead and tell these guys to execute this, and they will push on in. Excellent. I'm going to nuke their capital one last time for old time's sake. There we go. And that, of course, deleted this offensive line. We'll go ahead and put in an offensive line here for now. And we'll tell them to go ahead and do that. Wonderful. So we are moving in on their capital, and this is it right here. We're going to win this fight, and we're going to move into their capital, and this will cause them to capitulate. There we go. We're going to take everything. Literally everything. Take all states. Take all states. Take all states. Take all states. There's a lot. Take all states. Take all states. Take all states. Take all states. Yep. It's a lot of states that we're taking here. I'm going to call that good for this turn. Excellent. I don't want to satellite any of those. I want to just take their states. And so that's exactly what we will do. We will take all of the states. And that should be the whole world conquered at long last. It's taken a while. I wasn't in any particular hurry, though, to be fair. So that is absolutely wonderful. As I said before, we are definitely going to be moving on with this campaign and turning our eyes to the stars. Next episode will definitely be Kerbal Space Program. However, I would like to point out, we will be starting in Stellaris. Just because we need to know what we're actually going to be creating. And just like that, The world is conquered. It is all one big, happy Ethiopia. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings. If you managed to watch this whole thing, I commend you for your diligence, and I will see you all next time in Stellaris, but then immediately after in Kerbal Space Program.